the little succulents that I thought were finally starting to take, they've vanished. So I don't know if they dried out or what. This should have gotten some decent water. Yep, it's nice and moist. And there's that much water. So out here, there's a very high evaporation rate. These little planters, yeah, see, that's real nice and heavy. So I know it has plenty of water at the bottom. It's just got some late bloomers. And the late bloomers are wonderful because they give you a longer season of flowers, as long as it doesn't get too cold. Oh, I hope I start seeing fruit pretty soon. I really want some fresh tomatoes for my salads. But no casualties after being on their own for 3 days. This is the longest that this one is starting to, you can tell, it really needs a fatter pot. This is my last hope for some marigolds this season, as long as they take to finally bloom. So hopefully these will bloom out for me. Whatever this little guy is, I still haven't found its sweet spot. It's barely hanging on. And that one is still nice and moist, deep down. So the wilting is not for lack of moisture. My columbines, they grew a little. Maybe today will be the day I finally get them in a container. Maybe I should put... The best thing about living in Colorado is how few the days are that I don't have to be dressed like this in order to not be suffering from a heat stroke. Clouds have come in, which is good. I'm undercover, so I'm technically in the shade, which is good. What is not good is me having to be out there until I cool down just a little bit. And of course my water is up in the car, so I have to go get it. And then I have to drink way more than I'm used to drinking to get me hydrated and keep me that way. And I also need to put on my essential oil handcrafted bug repellent lotion, which doesn't always work, although there were 2 bites back there just 2 days ago. Maybe that means they were fly bites. Yeah, they look like that one. But you can see I hurt myself far more than any animals bite me. Because I'm always playing around with sticks and trees and wire that has sharp edges and likes to fall over and hurt me. So glad I didn't have that fence on a more secure thing, because pretty sure they'd have hopped it anyway. But the other fencing is as tall as the gate. Well, it's as tall as what's around here, so. It's almost as tall as me. And my marigolds were probably in full bloom while I was off property. And just so tempting because, you know, there's nothing more tempting to herbivores than yellow and orange food, apparently. Something they don't see often, I suppose. So, as you can see, Mother Nature is going to give me some cloud coverage. So, heat stroking and passing out and dying out here all alone, not a high risk today. Anyway, I'm going to get my water and then go get my lotion on. I almost forgot, and everyone probably saw it in pictures with me forgetting, but this was the project that is now complete. I'm already wanting to make the small dog fence area wider. And a little more deer proof. A little more fence hopping proof. But, sorry, fly on my wrist. What I really need, if anyone out there is available to be a good neighbor, and I will trade you pet care for the equivalent of your labor. I've got a lot of leveling that's just a few inches. Something that I'm sure someone with experience would have no problem getting done in a relatively short time, especially if you had the right tools, which is something else I'm in lack of. So I'm doing it the old-fashioned way. I'm using a hoe, a rake, a dirt, whatever kind of rake this is, and then finishing it off trying to make it level with a leaf rake, which I'm sure everyone out there with any kind of experience is laughing at me by now, but you know what? Necessity is the mother of invention. So I'm using my little creative brain to come up with solutions and get her done. Oh Lord, I can't believe I just said that. So the temperature has finally changed, and as you can see, we've got rain to thank for that. But it's cool enough now that I can handle even out in the direct sunlight. And I forgot to do that. So when I got here, about, I don't even know what time it is right now. It's been several hours. It was almost 90. And now, thanks to cloud and whatnot, we've dropped to just a little over 70. And as long as this beautiful breeze, my number one reason for loving this time of year in Colorado is that the breeze is still coming off the mountains, so it's still nice and cool. And then the clouds bring another layer of coolness when they float over, which makes the outdoor temperature the equivalent to the temperatures that I used to run air conditioning at when I was paying for electricity and air conditioning. And that is something that I haven't used anything beyond a fan. Now granted, sometimes it gets a little stuffy, but fortunately for me, as long as I do have a breeze, my crazy little body thermostat regulates, and I don't get that sick feeling that I do when I'm in just direct dry heat. So it's a good thing. Anyway, anyone wants to offer their expertise at getting me some little, I need this area leveled. I need under the white leveled. When I can finally put in a shed, a real shed. See, that's what I need a shed for. If all that stuff was on the shelves and up in the loft of the shed, all that floor space would be indoor space for puppies and me. And I could even have a little fan that would help circulate the air. Once I get electricity. Don't have electricity out here yet. Still hoping to find a solar fan. Because the cool thing about this is, don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, it lights up. So it has this little solar panel up on top. And I'm thinking if they can do that, then there has to be a way to make, oh, I see more things that need to be Velcroed. Okay, I gotta get my ladder and finish securing the top with the Velcro stuff. Anyway, back to it. There has to be one. Ooh, I'm not liking seeing sunlight coming through a hole. I don't know if you can see it. I think I might get a little Gorilla Glue and just run it along the seams, because I see a lot of light and that means potential for rips and tears. So I don't want that. Or silicone caulk. Apparently that stuff is so secure that once you silicone down granite counters, they have to be destroyed. Unless you're planning on destroying the cabinets. But, oh, other great news. I now have a sink for the future home site. I also have a gas stovetop. Not that I really wanted gas, but I'm going to have to do a little more investigation to the cost of utilities. Don't know how much solar would be required to run an electric stove. I know my hot plates and my toaster oven aren't that bad. So having that backup gas stovetop, I've heard you can have power shortages for quite a long time. That would at least give me the ability to cook. So again, just more decisions that will be made. What I came in, then I changed to that, and here in the next hour or so I will probably be back in them again, probably minus the long sleeve shirt. I think 60 is the lowest it's ever been before I started heading home. This is my temporary fix for the vents that got jumped. I've got lights that will be shining and stuff, so hopefully the lights, the illumination will deter. I don't know, the illumination may say, look, here you go, now you can see where you're jumping. I might get a sprinkle. Actually, that little cloud's too far away. And there's nothing behind me. So unless the wind shifts direction, that one's gonna miss me. Which is okay. I'm okay with that. So I'm gonna get back to this and see how level I can get it using my primitive tools. I kid. I know that they would have to be made of stone to be primitive. So, going back to work now.